Fantastic. I'm not a. All right, there we go.
The bulldozer Matt Tremont, the 8-time deathmatch tournament winner, the former 2-time world champion, the owner of H2O Wrestling. And if there is one podcast to listen to, that is the Deathmatch Russell podcast. Let's get ultraviolet, motherfuckers.
And good evening once again, fans. You're listening to the Deathmatch Russell podcast. They're more than welcome to come on too anytime they want to come on.
Oh man, the girls pop good like this.
Alright. It's a budget thing. Let's see what he's up to.
Thank you, man, and thank you for giving me the time.
Just tune in right now. And good evening, everyone. You're listening to another episode of the Deathmatch Russell podcast. My guest at this time, the one and only Jackson P. Larkin. How you doing, man?
Fantastic. It's an honor of yours to have me on your show.
Yes, you were telling me earlier that this is like your first time doing this stuff live. Well, you know what? It's time to get yourself into the virtual reality world. You know, this is the way.
I'm with it. I'm 100% with it.
This is the way we stream to get you guys out there, and you know what? To hear your name, to see a face and where you come from, and you know, wrestling wise, it's a name to put your name on the map. You know,
absolutely, and I appreciate you having me on. It means a lot. Thank you.
You know what? Every opportunity gets you one step closer to somewhere in a promotion inside that square circle. Going for that gold. Going for the gold, you know
it. That's I belong draped in gold. It's what I'm put on earth to do. Be dressed in gold belts. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm supposed to do, and it's gonna happen.
Yes. So listen. So Chicagoland Wrestling. What's your how long have you been rolling with that company now?
So Chicagoland Championship Wrestling. So John Bullard, who's been a great everything from the start of this all, just a great guy all around. He recruited me back, I want to say back in January of this year, January 2020. He recruited me, but you know, COVID kind of got in the way.
I know it knocked you guys knocked you guys into the virus wall, and like we got
so we were
for us wrestling fans, you know, striving for our wrestling, you know. Trying to get fix the wrestling, we couldn't. You know, everything was put on stop. Everything was put on stop, and we had to like sit back and watch wrestling on TV just to see, because they were throwing much more stuff that we, you know, and other promotions were throwing stuff on Facebook and on Fight TV and you know IWTV, which is really cool. You know,
and you know everybody was just trying to, you know, keep not only keep their name alive, but just keep indie wrestling alive the best way that they could. And for us, with John and I and the whole Chicagoland crew, we were going to come out with a bang in March, but then you know that's when COVID hit. Right as soon as they were like, all right, no more outside. You know, we were all supposed to make a bang, but you know, for me personally, I don't want to speak for anybody else, but for me personally, it was kind of a blessing in disguise. I would say for me personally, gives you a lot of time to think about what you really want to do, who you really want to be, what you want to show the world, and most importantly, if you can, and if you were lucky enough to have access to certain things, make yourself better physically and mentally. And that was my focus. I think the guy that Chicagoland Championship Wrestling would have gotten in March doesn't compare to the guy that they're going to get in October.
Yeah, October, you're stepping back in the ring again, and it's going to be awesome. I wish I was there live, you know, but I'll be rooting for you guys, you know, supporting you guys.
Do, however you can, please, if you can, Chicagoland Championship Wrestling, Saturday Night Grapple Masters, Michigan City, Indiana. Tickets, $10, $30 for floor. Come on through, guys, if you can. We would love to have you all.
But yeah, it's your first time at an outdoor event too, right? As well.
Yeah. First outdoor, first televised. So this will be a lot of firsts for me, but I'm well acquainted with working with my back against the wall. I like being nervous. I like having those nerves. It absolutely brings the best out of me. Even if I feel like, oh shoot, like even if I feel like I'm gonna be frozen, like something in my head clicks and it turns into me showing off. And I love the feeling that I have right now because it just means that everything's gonna go swimmingly for everybody except my opponent, of course.
Yes. Yeah, who do you? I have to look at the card, but who are you facing? I totally.
I'm facing this guy Braven Fett. Braven Fett is a guy that we've had our run-ins. We've been on the same card before in other promotions, and he's trying to be like some type of hero of some sort, and I just don't personally. I don't really like that vibe. It's like false pretenses to the people, and I'm just really not about that. He's making average people feel like they could be more than that when they're really just average and they're not really meant to be more than that. He's trying to be some type of inspiration, I guess, but he called my name first. So I have to teach him a lesson.
Go to school.
About that time.
Yeah. I mean, being on the COVID gives you time to study tapes and DVDs and footage just to get your mind, like to see what could I do now. Like there's so many cool things you can do and, moves and,
So
like
I'm
move
very,
sets.
I'm very careful with studying because like I'll take some things, but I want to be the next and only me. I don't want to
because you know what? You're yourself, and that's what you want to be, and that's
exactly
how
I want people later to say he acts like Jackson P. Larkin. I don't want people to say Jackson P. Larkin acts like this guy. I am me, and there is no other me, and it will remain that way. The only thing that I've been working on my own craft, learning what I want to do. Of course, I've studied a couple things here and there, but the most important thing are your basics. So I've been working on the basics the most. And when it comes to any of those big, glorified, exciting things, that's when my creativity starts rolling. That's when I start getting creative. That's when
the time bomb starts ticking in the head, and it's the triggers ready to be pulled.
Exactly
pull that. As they always say, right? Just
gotta be. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just saying, just got to be not only ready to present yourself, but to also let your opponent know that they have never faced anything like you before. Simple as that. There's no studying when it comes to me.
No, I'm sure you look past in the past, you've had those matches. You're like, oh, you know what? This guy, he's not going to last 5-10 minutes 20 minutes with me in the ring. Like you've had those guys, and in the past, you look back and you're like, oh, these guys, they want to step up and try to take it. Hang with me.
Yeah, I look back. Actually, I look back, and like I said, I'm a whole new man. Those guys those matches that I've had before, that guy doesn't exist anymore. I am far more evolved. Those guys I look back at, they probably could have lasted 5 minutes with me back then, but now there's no chance. Absolutely not. This is a whole new game we're playing right now. So, when it comes to that, whole new game. And Braven Fett honestly needs to learn that too. He's seen me around and he thinks it's just going to be the same old dude that's been walking around in the locker room and,
cutting a promo here, cutting a promo here, cutting a promo there.
Basics here, basics there. I'm thinking he's coming into it thinking that it's going to be something easy, and that's going to be his biggest mistake.
No. Once you step foot in that ring and that bell sounds, the fans are rooting you on. It's time to have fun and go to town.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. For me, it's all about domination. I've been sitting around way too long for these people to not know who I am. It's been way too long. It's been a long time coming, and I got a lot to prove. I got a big chip on my shoulder, and I got to get it off. So I got a lot to show, and I got a lot to show and a lot to say.
Yeah,
Just leave it at that.
that's why we said earlier to you, you know what? This is a way to platform for you to get yourself out there, and people will listen and hear what's going on. So as your opponent's listening, we'll get to him later. I'm sure you'll have some words for him, but we'll say that for the end. We'll say that
We'll
for
see
the
how
end.
I feel about it.
So let me ask you this. I'm just going to call you Jackson. I don't have to say a whole name. All right, Jackson or Larkin, whatever you want me to call you. Jackson, how's that?
Just only because you're doing me a favor, I'll let you get away with the Jackson. Usually I prefer full name.
You know what, Jackson P. Larkin. There you go. I'll stick with it.
It is appreciated.
It is. But let's go back to your career in the beginning as a fan of wrestling. As a kid, what was your first experiences?
It's funny. That's actually a good question because I'm going to try to cut it short because it's actually a pretty long answer. So my first experience with professional wrestling was actually video games. Like we used, the Blockbuster days of going to just rent stuff. And,
renting Coliseum. Renting Coliseum home videos.
Not even that. I saw I think it was Royal Rumble 94 or something like that. The video game, got it for Super Nintendo. I knew absolutely nothing about wrestling, and I always picked Mr. Perfect and Shawn Michaels because I liked their music the most, and they were the easiest to play with. And next thing you know, the sport that I was kind of familiar with was boxing. Next thing you know, I see Mike Tyson on TV with Shawn Michaels, the guy from the video game. So I'm like, oh, what is this? And I tell my family what it is, and luckily you see this lady behind me. That's my grandmother. That's my everything right there. That's my everything right there. She was a huge wrestling fan. Both my grandparents were. So once I was like, hey, I know what this is. And I watched it with them every night that it came on. It didn't matter what promotion it was. We were just sitting, watching wrestling. No matter. And unfortunately, in those Monday Night Wars, whenever Booker T came on, this lady had to see some Booker T. So
yeah, she popped. She probably popped. Yeah. That's crazy.
Booker T and Hulk Hogan were her guys. So yeah, that's where the love came from. And it's honestly,
do you believe that Booker T's you got the other guys do a podcast now? I'm seeing it on Facebook. What's his name? His old partner.
Who's Stevie Ray?
Yeah.
His brother?
Yeah.
I know Booker T has a podcast. I wasn't familiar with Stevie Ray's.
Stevie Ray has one. I'll send you it when I get it.
Yeah, please do. Please do. I want to get as much of it as I can. Absolutely.
He's got a bright future. He had a good career, man. Back in the WCW. Them in the WCW era. Gosh,
I'll listen to any of those guys talk wrestling anytime. Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know about Booker T. I don't think he does that much, because I know he does a lot of in-ring work and stuff.
I know he's got a podcast. I just don't keep up with it personally. Just with time constraints, I try to squeeze in as much as I can with time. But
one of my favorites really is Stone Cold Steve Austin. That podcast
I catch him.
Blows
I catch him when I can.
Blows my mind every time who he brings on and what they have to say and what he has to say. So to bring back the past of his career and talk about wrestling.
When I had more time on my hands, I used to listen to him and Jericho religiously.
Oh, Jericho can talk forever, man. He's great too.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to listen to those guys religiously.
WCW Chris Jericho, ECW Jericho. Come on, that's the era,
WCW Jericho. 98 Chris Jericho when he had the Monday Night Jericho shirt and he had Ralphus. That was it for me, actually. That was my guy. I was like, this guy needs to be everywhere all the time.
Now, if you had Jericho versus Jushin Liger, or Muda, would have been phenomenal, or Hayabusa, or Jerry Lynn, of course. They've had some him and Jericho have had some good matches too, and Benoit, of course, Benoit.
Oh, we're allowed to say his name on the podcast. Okay.
What's that?
To make sure. Some people are iffy about the whole Chris Benoit, talking about Chris Benoit.
No, I talk about him. He's a wrestler. He's
Oh,
the cripple. Come on.
absolutely. I mean, yeah, he's you know what? I would say he's probably one of the top 5 I study.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so as we were getting back to what was your first event growing up?
Oh man,
let's see.
I don't want to say my first event growing up didn't happen. I couldn't go to a wrestling show until I was a full-grown adult to pay for my own ticket.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, going back to what was my first event? The No Mercy pay-per-view that took place. The No Mercy pay-per-view that took place like way back when. I remember Matt Hardy and MVP had a deep dish eating contest, and Triple H had 3 matches that night. It was that one. No Mercy was my first live show.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I couldn't go until I was much older. Yeah,
I know, because then you called your friends. Let's go. Want to see some wrestling with me? Come on, this is addicting. You're gonna be addicted.
Absolutely. It was, yeah, man. It was much easier then.
Mm-hmm.
Much easier for me anyway. As a kid, I was just like, I'm not even gonna bother. You see certain things in your household, and then you're like, yeah, I know what to ask for and what not to ask for. So,
so yeah. I was blessed with wrestling. I tell you, I was spoiled with wrestling when I grew up. Like, wrestling was like everywhere in New Jersey. Growing up, wrestling was big on the East Coast.
Man, that's awesome.
I mean, like, what age 5 or not like age 7 or so, I saw Abdul the Butcher inside a steel cage, Bruiser Brody inside a cage.
I wish I could have saw Brody. That's one I wish I could have seen him.
Dr. D. David Schultz, come on! Like, I got to see the Fantastics at an early age.
Yeah, you got very lucky, very lucky.
Because I always tell everybody that that's wrestling related that me and my father every Saturday morning, Iron Mike Sharp, the wrestler Iron Mike ran a school in my town for $5. You could watch wrestling on a Saturday. And
that's awesome.
That was, and he had X-Pac as the 1, 2, 3 kid. Lightning Kid was there every single week.
Oh, yeah, you were treated.
And then then he had guys like The Wall from WCW.
Yeah.
And you had Nova from ECW.
Nova. And wildly underrated.
And of course, his brother ran. I was lucky. Mid-90s rolled around. Mid-90s, his brother ran a promotion. It was called Phoenix Championship Wrestling, and it brought all the top wrestlers. You'd be Samoa Joe to you name it. Walked right in the door. I saw Eddie Guerrero wrestle Nova in a farewell match. How cool is that? Like, yeah.
Eddie Guerrero is my number one.
Mm-hmm.
My number one.
Mm-hmm.
That guy is everything to me. Everything.
Mm-hmm.
I love Eddie. I love that dude, man. Never even seen him live. Don't know anything about him personally. I love Eddie Guerrero.
Mm-hmm.
There's just like there's maybe one better to me, maybe one, but Eddie's everything.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever gone to any like independent other shows as like future like say Ring of Honor came around or any of the other promotions that, like TNA, like just a house show, like shows that you never got
when it comes to shows, WWE, of course. Of course, WCW was closed by the time I was WCW closed before I was in high school, so I never got to see a WCW show. Same with ECW. Definitely went to TNA Bound for Glory. That was in Chicago. Sting and Samoa Joe fought like right here in my face, and that was pretty sweet. Where else have I been? Of course, the indie shows I've been to here and there. Never been to an ROH, which is unfortunate. Never been to an ROH, and that does make me sad. God, I'm trying to remember. Wait, no, we did go to an ROH. We did. Oh my God, yeah, we did. It was one of the many times Bubba Ray retired.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we definitely went to an ROH.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
do, because I know Kenny King was in a 4-way. I'm just trying to remember it. A lot of drama happened that night. I wasn't involved in it, but a lot of drama,
Right.
a lot of
Yeah.
drama around me was going
Yeah.
on while these matches were happening. So I was just
Mhm.
like, oh man, it's hard to keep up with. But yeah, I did go to an ROH. I did knock that off my bucket list a few years ago. This was before the whole. This was when the Bullet Club were still together with Kenny and the Bucks and all those guys. They were still Bullet Club. I don't even think they were calling themselves the Elite yet.
I'll tell you what, I got to see CM Punk versus Austin Aries as Punk was signing his contract to leave for the WWE. Way before that was the feud, and it was Death Before Dishonor 2.
You got it, man. You were just a very fortunate guy.
I was lucky. I was lucky, man, because it was just like Asbury Park, Edison, New Jersey, Philadelphia. If I wanted to go, I never made it to. Actually, yeah, I did do Philadelphia. I did the CZW versus ROH 100th year anniversary show, The War, when Cornette got involved. That was in John Zandig, and now he became friends with John after I got hooked on that Combat Zone Wrestling in Ultraviolet.
I think what's crazy for me is because I didn't get to go to these as a kid,
mm-hmm.
and I've started going as an adult, and I knew that in my heart I wanted to do this.
Mm-hmm.
For me, while I was enjoying the show, I was kind of looking at everything as competition. Like, these are the guys that I have to keep up with. This
mm-hmm.
wasn't me trying to buy a foam finger, buy a hat, and just be happy.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's going to, if I want it enough, and no one's going to tell me I don't. I'm looking at these guys like, all right, at some point I'm going to have to beat this guy. I'm going to have to be better than this guy because these guys are all inspired.
Because I want to be the next like Kevin Owen or El Generico or like one of those guys that really made the name, Samoa Joe, to you name it, like you wanted to improvise and study their skills and
I want their spot. I want everything that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So it was all like scouting. I had fun, but it was scouting competition.
Mm-hmm. And then, and then you get that one call, you could be an extra.
Oh yeah. That call's gonna happen one day.
Mm-hmm.
I know it because I want it enough.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I had to grab the charger. I didn't want us to die out.
Oh no, we're gonna die, folks. Right now, the podcast. No kidding. But this is really awesome. I love talking. What else do we got, man? Let's see here.
Hey man, I'm pretty much an open book. Whatever you need to know, I got you covered.
All right, let's. What's your finisher? I didn't even look at that on the. What do you like to use? What's your?
Well,
or first when you started. How's that? First when you start, like it's probably it's probably a cage match,
Well, my you said what's my first match? You said.
Yeah, let's go to first match.
Actually, my first match. My first match was interesting. My first match took place in St. Paul, Minnesota, at a promotion called Showtime Championship Wrestling, in a fatal 4-way. I don't think the guys knew that it was my first match, but I was a professional. And it was like, all right, you got 3 personalities to work with. You always wanted this. You got to make it happen. Yeah, little did I know until the middle of the show that it was the company's last night running. So I made my debut in the company's last night in a fatal 4-way to open the show. I mean, I think it's a pretty sweet story, So that's what I debuted with. To answer your question about the finisher, well, I'll put it to you this way. Chicagoland Championship Wrestling calls me the man with the concrete right hand. Mm-hmm. I'll leave it at that. Some people will be like, yeah, it's illegal. Don't worry about what's legal and what's illegal. Just know that things get done. Just know that things get done. Mm-hmm. And if you want to talk legal moves, I've been known to have a mean rear naked chokehold. And I got a pretty sweet ripcord headbutt. Patent pending. No one better take that from me.
Yeah, better not. That sounds like some stuff that you got.
This one's my baby right here. This my baby right here. So
that's your diamond.
I'll leave it at that. This is the one.
Mm-hmm. What else? How about worst experience with wrestling fans, heckling wise, old people, anything?
I
love
would,
that.
My worst.
That you have to be like.
I would say I didn't have a worst experience personally, but to keep it vague,
or a worst fan at Chicagoland or some sort of, you know what I mean? Like somebody just would get,
my worst experience with fans in general was in wrestling, no matter how you act or what you see on the camera, we are at the end of the day, we're all family.
Yep, we're all friends. I know.
And there have been times where I've seen fans get a little too comfortable with female talent.
Mm-hmm.
So there have been times where playing like guardian role. If someone don't see me in person, you can't tell. I'm 6'1", 250, pretty jacked up dude. I got to play security guard and get these guys that's doing too much away from female talent from time to time. Always have my eyes open. That would probably, I would say, my worst experience with fans in wrestling. Nothing when it comes to me personally.
I play the gimmick. I know. Play along. Yep. Hey, come on, let's go right now.
Yeah, Jackson, exactly.
Jackson.
I personally love that.
Come on.
I love that.
Bring it to me. Come on. I love that. That's my style.
I love it. If I can make you feel that, then I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
If I can make you feel that, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. If you looked at me and did nothing, that would be my worst experience.
Mm-hmm.
If you looked at me and did absolutely nothing, that would be my absolute worst experience.
And you get the old grandma. Then you get the old grandma. Then you get the grandma. The old granny. Come on. Yeah.
I love her. Yeah. I love them. Anybody that steps to me, let's go. I love it. I love it. I had a guy that was like right here in my face, right here, like yelling, "Come on, let's go, let's go." And I'm just standing there staring at him. I love that I was able to get him that worked up. All I had to do was stare at him.
You know what I like? When you get like the old hillbilly kind of rednecky person who's just like, come on now, let's go.
Now the craziest thing I've seen is like a older lady took out her teeth ready to fight. Like I was like, okay.
Oh gosh. That would ruin my day. I'd be like, goodbye. Sorry.
That was many. I was like, whoa, all right. Mm-hmm. I see what we're capable of doing now. So
yeah. They're creative. People are creative. But the old knock of the hat gets them all fit up, knock the hat, toss it off.
Oh yeah. Just something minor. You don't even have to do. Sometimes you don't have to do much. Sometimes I'm a firm believer of less is more.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes less is more. Like you said, some simple as tipping the hat. Like I said, there have been times where I've just stared at people and they just lose it. Whether it's fear or whether it's just like I gotta man up or whatever it is. There's been times I just stare at them.
Then you got the little kid. Then you got the little kid there with his pops. Okay, Dad. Come on, big guy. Come on.
Kids are.
I know, man.
Kids are money.
Now I'll tell you what. Nowadays they're really vulgar, boy.
Oh my, yeah.
Oh, can you believe the worst? The words that come out of their mouth, like, wow, parents let them use that? Come on.
Yeah, the show that I was at, the show that I debuted, we're allowed to curse, yeah?
You can curse anything, yep. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just for paraphrasing here, like, there's kids that's going, that guy's a bitch. He's a bitch. And I'm looking around, and like his parents are right next to him. I was like,
yeah.
Whatever. Your kid and I'm not here to raise him. So
no.
you do you.
Yeah.
You do you. It's just, it's kind of mind blowing. The kids are money, man. You get the kids to feel it. You You got it.
Mm-hmm. You do.
Absolutely.
You do. And then when you get little girls getting into it, oh my God, they have like the crush on everybody.
The girls are great. The girls are fighters too now. Don't let the girls fool you. They fight you too.
Yeah. You know what? I've got nieces and nephews, but you know what? They never know about my deathmatch wrestling or my wrestling. They'll play with my action figures, WWE figures, or whatever I buy, bring home from a show. You know, They'll run around with those. You know, but I'll tell them what goes on with blood, and they'll never learn. They'll never know what I have. You know, I won't tell them.
Just keep it low key for now.
Keep it low key until I take them to a show or a local show to see what it's about. You know,
exactly.
Let them see what it's all about. You know. With their dad too, of course. You know, it's amazing. Like you look back at the generations of wrestling, like as us as kids, we were calm, cool, and then we got spoiled, man. We got spoiled. We had the video games. God, we were addicted to the games. God,
man. We are spoiled, Like, now, you can just go on the internet and find wrestling now, It was just like, man, we got to wait till Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We got to wait. We got to wait, man. And, if I was a kid with all of this, man, who knows how crazy I would be into wrestling. Man.
But
wild. Absolutely.
Fast forward now, look what we have on TV, AEW. That's something that's really special. It's really cool. Really
I think, and not to sound all corny and stereotypical, but any wrestling promotion that's running is special. It's always good to have us guys employed somewhere, whether it's Impact, AEW, WWE, ROH, whatever, like anything. Freelance, Chicagoland Championships.
Oh no, tonight's dark, isn't it?
Tonight is not only dark, it is NXT Super Tuesday, my friend.
Ooh. Wow.
Yeah, NXT and AEW dark. So take your pick.
I'll tell you what. Good companies, like good products right there. As I always, I fell away from the WWE product for quite a while. It's I always tell people now I just fell out it's the way that they've been doing it lately. But I like what the independents is bringing to NXT. Has some talent that I just got right now. A friend of mine, his name's Joe Gacy from Combat Zone Wrestling. He just got his contract for NXT.
That's awesome. Congrats to him, man. That's awesome.
So he'll get to work with Joe. He'll get to wrestle with Gulak a lot. They're buddies, of course. So,
oh man, Gulak's amazing.
Yeah. But not only, but opportunities, man. Opportunities it's amazing who comes through this the doors of AEW right now, man. They're bringing some people that people need to get out. Did you see who they just brought back? Matt Sydal. Like there's an Indy, like Ring of Honor days. Like I've seen him on his Jersey All Pro days and
they got Jack Evans and Angelico too, though. They got Jack Evans and Angelico. They're doing great, man. They're doing really great. I'll be honest with you. My two favorite signees were Brody Lee and Ricky Starks. Those were my two favorites. Where I was like, yeah, this is a move. Oh, Eddie Kingston. They just got Eddie Kingston. Never did.
Man. I'll tell you what, man. Eddie,
they're doing great.
Eddie, I'll tell you what, Eddie, man. From when I first saw him wrestle at a local company, it was called JCW, not Juggalo Wrestling, almost GCW.
Yeah.
It was changed over to GCW after, but man, he started out as the King of Diamonds. Like it was amazing. His like a small character, and then he built up and moved all over with Homicide, and then Mid-South Wrestling, IWA, and man, he just launched his career NWA on TV, and then right now on AEW, showing what he could do. Brody Lee, I'll tell you what, Brody Lee. You think of Brody Lee from like this circuit of wrestling, indie circuit. He was one of those guys too. Like he had his brawls hanging with Necro Butcher and some other guys,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then big time on WWE, of course. But not only, of course, I always like to shout out Joey Janela since he's a local from the Jersey.
Yeah. He's a local for you guys. Yeah.
I've seen him wrestle since he was 16 years old. Like, how crazy is that? Like, I followed his.
And imagine there was a point in time where he was getting Jericho comparisons, young Jericho comparisons, and that's a high honor. So I mean, Joey's doing his thing, man, and I'm happy. I'm happy to see all these guys doing their thing, and hopefully we can all get a chance to shine together. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We all want to do great things, and we all want to provide great products.
Wait till Cody comes back, off his injury. We'll see who he open challenge still rolls around, and we'll see who goes. There's so many.
He's got to get that belt back first. He's got to get that belt back.
Yeah, he does. He does.
We'll see what happens.
There's so much other things going on, but the tag team divisions, it's pretty good right now. They got a good tag team division.
It's all over. Joey, it's all over the place, man.
Like I said, Joey and Sonny. And you got
Joey and Sonny. Of course, you got Lucha Bros.
Brothers. Lucha Bros. You got Ortiz. You got
what?
You got Ortiz and
Pride and Powerful. Pride and Powerful. You got the Young Bucks. You got FTR.
Yes. FTR is making a scene. They are something. They're making a scene. I'm noticing. Like they
always have been. They've always been special, man. Sometimes you just got to find the right. Sometimes you got to find the right shoe that fits you. They've always been good. They've always been good, and people are seeing it now. So
and you got Orange Cassidy doing his thing. I mean, man, did you see that? Did you watch the pay-per-view or no?
I couldn't. I read about it and caught up on everything. Man, honestly,
I'll send you some. I'll send you something after we're done here. How's that?
Yeah, please, man. I'm so focused on my own thing right now, man, that I've barely been.
Me too. Yeah,
I catch it when I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I catch it when I can. I record some of it. If I got time to watch it, I catch up.
Yeah, I try to do it at work. I'll watch it after I'm on break for a garbage run. Just to see what's going on in the world in the wrestling, man. There's but yeah, what else? There's just so much wrestling. Yeah, like there's just stars and the female talent is really pushed too. Also,
wildly underrated again. Another group of people that's wildly underrated. You give girls time, they will show off, man. They will show off. I don't care what anybody says. We need more time for the ladies, honestly, straight up.
No, I mean, they just signed Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa.
Is she officially signed? I know she had the match.
She's signed.
I didn't know. Oh, that's.
I think she's going to be. Yeah, of course. Come on.
I actually met her a long time ago. She's a sweetheart, man. Very long time ago. At a freelance underground show. She's super cool, man. So I'm happy.
Oh, speaking of that, freelance underground, there's another good promotion. There is one that can
freelance. This is how I put it. Like John has been nothing but phenomenal to me. Nothing but phenomenal to me. So Chicagoland Championship Wrestling, they right here with me too. Freelance. I am a freelance student. That's my original home. That's my home. Freelance is where I've been trained. That's where I learned my craft. And just to give a shout out to Bryce Benjamin was my first trainer. Bryce Benjamin was my first trainer under the freelance umbrella. Then I got Isaiah Velasquez, man, and that guy. Let me tell you. First of all, those two guys are the smoothest guys I've ever seen wrestle in my life. Isaiah Velasquez, man, that's like both guys are like my big brother, but that guy, like Isaiah, is something about him, man. He really he gives a fuck about. I know he gives a fuck about me, and I love him to death, man. It's like almost like sometimes I'm too scared to like even show him things because I don't want to disappoint my papa. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then my newest trainer is Miss Kylie Ray.
So Miss Kylie Ray, really talented female.
And I can tell you, I love all three of those people, man. They are amazing.
I'll tell you what, man. I've had the chance to go down to Chicago for Game Changer Wrestling GCW. It's a big popular
GCW,
promotion.
man.
I was there around when it first came to the. We did a first tour. It was way 2006, 17 or 18. We did a tour down there to freelance. Did a freelance double show. My God, it was awesome. At the brewery, man. At that brewery, before it
Freelance
closed down.
Underground was it Church Street?
Was it
Church Street Brewery? Could have been.
Yes.
Could have been.
Yeah,
man. It's a freelance and Chicagoland Championship Wrestling. Those are my two homes. Those are my two priorities.
Well, guess what? Guess what? If you look on the internet, Game Changer Wrestling is going to be, freelance is going to be in the collective this year as well.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah. That's going to be the week after the Chicagoland Championship Wrestling show.
So fans, if you're not busy, get out and check it out. Freelance, a lot of these promotions are going to get together and just, it's going to be a great.
Head on over to Indianapolis. It's going to be nuts. Head on over to Michigan City the week before on October 3rd. Then the week after, the Saturday after, which should be October 10th, come check out Freelance and the rest of the boys and girls do their thing down in Indianapolis.
Black Label Pro is going to be there. There's so many promotions, man.
BLP, Mikey, the guy that runs BLP, is an amazing guy too. Shout out to Mikey as well. I met him many months ago at a Rocky Romero seminar that they were holding. Man, he's a very nice guy too.
They're bringing actually they're bringing Shimmer too. They're bringing Shimmer.
Oh, I didn't even know that part.
Yes, and AI Dub's coming again. The Absolute Intense is going to make a.
Oh, by the way, my favorite thing about Black Label Pro is their show times. They run Saturday afternoons, and that is incredible to me.
Mm-hmm. How far is that? How far is that place for you? If you took the little journey to.
If I were to go to Black Label Pro, it's like 45 minutes from now.
No, I'm saying to that.
Oh, Indianapolis.
Yeah,
Indianapolis is about a 3-hour drive.
Oh, that ain't bad.
Yeah, that's probably bad.
Oh God, it's probably 12 hours for the Jersey show.
Yeah.
Nah, I'll skip it.
It's like three and a half hour drive. Yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
Man.
You better. I think you're gonna. I think you have to be scouting some wrestling.
I might have to. Might have me and the right hand might show up. You never know. You never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute.
I'm not booked. No false promises. I'm not booked for anything, but I'm going to.
But wait. Ethan Page, All Ego, Ethan Page actually this past Sunday at Game Changer announced he's going to be in charge. He's the booker for the clusterfuck for Game Changer. So, Ethan, if you're listening, this guy right here.
Come on. Hey, Ethan, we got friends in freelance, man. We got friends from your hometown, man.
Yeah, man. He's
people can vouch for me, man. Put me on.
Yeah. Tell Kylie, yeah. Kylie. Hey. No.
Someone vouch for me. I hope I got a good rep. I'm pretty sure I got a pretty good rep.
Hey, if there's a rumble, well, or if you make it like some sort of rumble or something, all right? Hey, you never know.
Anything is a blessing, man, and I'm just happy to be a part of the wrestling business in general. Anything's a blessing, man.
Absolutely. Want to close it out? I think we're done because it's time for me to hit the bed. I get up about 5 o'clock, about 5:30 from work. I'm an early bird.
Got to handle business, brother. Take care of those bills. Pay those bills.
Yeah. Money. That's payday this week, so it's all good, I think.
Oh, man, that's sweet. Throw me some money.
Yeah, but Jackson P. Larkin.
Larkin.
Any final words for the public or your opponent for October 3rd?
Jackson P. Larkin, known as the man with the concrete right hand. I am here to make you all notice the greatness that is me and the greatness that is independent wrestling. If you want to see this happen firsthand, check me out. Saturday Night Grapple Masters, presented by Chicagoland Championship Wrestling. My opponent is Braven Fett, who he's pretty good. He's got Muay Thai skills. I mean, like I said, I know the guy. The guy is definitely well skilled. I'm gonna have I'm going to have a good opponent on my hands, but I just don't like him and I don't like what he represents, so I'm going to have to put him down. And like I said, if you want to see some great things happen, October 3rd, Michigan City, come on out. I'll be happy to show you what greatness looks like.
You know what? I've got a couple other podcasts. I'm going to have a couple of other guys on. You might know these names. I'm going to have Tyler Bowden on.
Bring them on. You know,
I got Tyler, and I've got a guy named Garrison. Garrison Creed is coming on.
Garrison Creed. All right. Have fun with all those guys. They won't be better than me, but have fun with all those guys.
but Jackson P. Larkin. Where can they find you on the social media? If you
the best place to find me.
If you could go on, snap your fingers and put the bam to the camera. Watch this, a little magic could happen. Watch this.
The best place to find me would be Instagram. Bam. Follow that Instagram handle, that JPL_2531. That is the absolute best place to reach me. I don't respond to anything else, honestly. JPL_2531 on Instagram. Best place to find me, best place to keep up with me. Come follow me, and I'll show you once again what greatness looks like.
Jackson P. Larkin, I want to say thank you for coming on the podcast. And anytime you want to come back, my friend, you're more than welcome to.
Back at you. Thank you very much.
Have a good night, my friend.
Back at you.
Yep. Close this out. If I can get out of it. All right, fans, you heard it here tonight, live on the podcast. He's getting ready for his opponent on October 3rd. They're going to go back at it, and it's going to be a crazy night. It's going to be a good show at October 3rd in Chicago at Chicagoland Wrestling. Tickets are only, he said, $10, $30 for, I think, VIP. Much more, fans. Check it out. Be there in person. See all your favorite superstars of Chicagoland Wrestling and enjoy the show. It's going to be a great night for wrestling, outdoor show. So, fans, just a reminder, wear your masks in public because safety comes first. As the COVID is still around, and I'm a fan of wrestling, and I know how to distance myself. I've been wearing a mask when I go to a show. You should too. Make sure you have sanitizer on hand. Sanitizers are always available around ringside as well. They have them stationed for you. Fans, as I said, stay tuned. This Thursday night at 8 p.m., I'm going to have Tyler Bowden on, the American Outlaw, and he's going to join me on the podcast. And that's it. And then Friday night, I'm going to have Garrison Creed on. So stay tuned for that, fan, as well, at 8 p.m. Fans, thank you for listening to the podcast. Find me on all my social media as usual, but listen to the podcast as I close it out. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you for listening. And tune in next time to the Deathmatch Russell podcast. Good night, everybody.
You can find more Deathmatch Russell podcasts on the following social media: DeathmatchRussell.com, follow on Twitter at DavidNJ32, and on Facebook, Facebook.com/DJDaveNJ32. Instagram at DavidNJ36. Hey, wrestling fans, I want to mention Collar and Elbow. Collar and Elbow was founded on traditional values of professional wrestling. Two entities working together to create a product intended to connect with people on an emotional level. A symbiotic relationship where one cannot flourish without the other. We strive to create a product that embodies our passion for professional wrestling expressed through street fashion. Visit collarandelbowbrand.com and use the promo code Deathmatch Podcast and save 10% off when you make a purchase. Collar and Elbow, where wrestling passion meets street fashion. Me on Podcast City Network at podcastcity.net, facebook.com/Podcast City Network. Hit the like button and share. And on Twitter at Podcast City Net. You can hear Deathmatch Russell Podcast on Stitcher Radio and on iTunes.